other holiday do we have,
Lovely.
Michael?
We have,
Oh, can't forget Hanukkah.
oh, yes.
Yes. Come on, don't pretend like you didn't know.
Made out of clay,
Ready.
each and every day.
Oh, cradle,
Cradle, cradle.
And I have no singing.
Good evening, ladies and
Sorry,
gentlemen.
everybody.
Welcome again to the Fun Show here at Big TV. This is the December 16th edition of the Fun Show. It, interestingly enough, is the last show of this calendar year. We will, when we see you again, it'll be 2020, which
They're
is a year
saying
that
it'll
for,
be too soon, they're
for
saying,
good or for
after
bad
this
will
year.
go down in American history.
Right.
Is either reclaiming our democracy or declaring it dead.
Oh, that's
That's
true.
what next year is about. So
It's heavy.
it is heavy.
That's really
yes.
heavy.
Yeah.
So we wish you a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah,
Happy
a
New
festive
Year.
Kwanzaa,
Yeah,
and
Kwanzaa. Oh, yeah.
yes.
Don't forget Kwanzaa.
Okay.
Although I've yet to meet anybody who actually
I
celebrates
asked a few
Kwanzaa.
people.
You know, you're right. I don't know that I've actually met anyone who celebrates it either.
And it's not because I don't have black friends, but
You know, you have a very diverse group of friends, and somebody in there should have celebrated Hanukkah.
So-
Not Hanukkah, Kwanzaa.
Susan does not celebrate Kwanzaa.
Okay.
Just said on
Okay.
things. All right, so here's the thing, folks. I want to tell you, first of all,
At the
that
Patriots.
I thank you all for going out, those of you who did, and voting in our election last week.
I voted.
In case you didn't hear, the override for Driscoll School did, in fact, pass.
Happened. Yeah.
And
That means
I-
what?
Huh?
It's not going forward. It's something's not
No,
happening.
it's going.
no, it is
It is
going,
going forward.
It is
Yes,
going.
we will now build a new Driscoll School.
Okay.
Well, they said it was they were
guys
going to
want-
repair it, maybe.
No.
I
It's
know,
not.
I know.
We're tearing down the old Driscoll School. We're building a new one. And we're moving the location so that we get a lot more use out of the site, in fact. But in any case,
Is this
that's
a good
over.
thing? Are you happy with this decision?
Well, I was ambivalent, but told people that I was going to vote yes. I did go. I did vote yes. So, in a sense, it means that the people of Brookline, even on an ambiguous question, came down on the side of education, and that pleases me.
Okay.
All right. Now, tomorrow, no matter what the weather does, 5:30 tomorrow, Boston Common. Everybody out there to show Massachusetts, the United States, and the world that we've had enough and we want an end to Donald Trump. Impeachment rally, Boston Common, 5:30 tomorrow. Be there.
Afternoon, not morning.
No.
5:30 afternoon.
He still says he won't
PM.
appear at the hearing for the this thing that we're
Well,
they're
he
doing to him.
also has announced that he won't participate in any debates
No.
with the Democratic candidate
No.
for president. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Here was an interesting one. Do you remember Carly Fiorina?
Yes.
Carly Fiorina, who was the CEO of what was it, Hewlett Packard,
Right.
was a candidate for the
Yes.
Republican nomination for president in 2016,
What did
and
she-
was in fact the person that Ted Cruz selected to be his running mate. So she rose that high
Okay.
in the thing, right? She said that impeaching Donald Trump is vital to America.
He
we
And
know this.
she's still a Republican.
he said about her some very nasty things.
Well, he doesn't like being.
He said
Well,
she,
he likes to call people nasty,
Yeah,
but
because that's all he's got.
to him, the whole world is a mirror. Wherever he looks, he sees himself.
he
And why do we
really
acknowledge stupid?
really
I don't
hammered her.
understand
He
that,
says-
why we acknowledge stupid.
he says, look at that face. He said, look at that
Look
face.
at that face.
Yeah. Would you want that sitting next to you in the morning?
It's just so. Again, it's just.
It's just
Disgusting.
typical.
It's all
typical.
just so disgusting.
The man, there is absolutely no debate. There is more debate over the cause for impeachment, of which there is no real debate. But there's more debate over that than there is debate over whether this person is clinically ill, mentally ill. This person is, without any question on earth, clinically mentally ill.
Mitch says I have to.
Narcissism is a disorder.
Mitch says I have to call the White House to find out if he has any instructions for us. That's what he said today.
Which means he should be impeached himself. You know, and then
Mitch.
we have Lindsey Graham. You run the things Lindsey Graham said about Donald Trump in 2016. You know, he's unbalanced, he's unfit, he's et cetera, et cetera.
Awful.
Everything. He said meaner things about Donald Trump than the Democrats
That's it,
did,
yes.
and now
The opposite.
he
Well, they're
is this
best
little.
friends.
He's not even a lap dog. He's a purse dog. He's this little Shih Tzu
Somebody
bitch.
create a meme if you haven't already.
for Donald Trump. I mean,
Well,
how can this guy? I don't understand why he doesn't have a full beard. Because how could he possibly look at himself in the mirror in the morning and shave?
what about the South Carolinians?
Of course,
people
he's
have no
rich. Maybe he
shame.
has someone who shaves him. You
Right.
know?
What about those people who put him in?
All right, so are these people deliberately stupid?
No,
Like,
no,
okay.
they're strategically stupid.
Okay, so that's it. Like, this is,
Because they believe the American people are stupid.
yes.
They do.
Yes, they do.
And
And
unfortunately,
I'm sorry, America, many of you are. Sorry. You've
But
proven
Mitch-
it with our current president.
yes.
You've proven your
yes.
stupidity and your ignorance, and
Now-
your lack of education, ambition, insight, and self-awareness. I'm
And-
done for now.
What else?
That they have, you know.
Okay for the moment.
Anyway, there's this guy named Van Drew,
I saw
who's
his
a
name.
Democratic rep from New Jersey.
Yeah. Man,
And he
he's a
voted
sh-
against impeachment.
Yeah.
And now it is said, I'm not sure he's formally done it yet, but it's said that he's going to switch to the Republican Party.
I heard him
That
say it.
guy.
And
He said it on TV.
and the reason he's switching is no great mystery. It has very little to do with ideology. It has to do with the polls in his home district say he's only got a 23% chance of being renominated, much less reelected.
And we're hoping he gets the treatment both ways.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So he'll, you know, why would even the Republicans, of course, you can't put any logic on Republicans these days.
No, you cannot.
But logically, why would the Republicans nominate this guy to run for the seat, you know?
I don't know, and I'm not going to even try to answer
Like,
that one.
speculating. It's like that guy's 5 minutes
Because
are
it isn't
over.
worth talking about.
Exactly. Those
Yeah.
5 minutes, his 5 minutes are
He's a
over.
skunk.
Anyway, just to change the subject a bit, not from politics, but just to change it a bit, the election in England.
Excellent.
Boris Johnson won big.
Well,
He
yes,
ha-
he won big.
He has the biggest margin now since Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah, that's right. I saw
And
it.
so Brexit is going to happen.
It would appear he said so.
And
But what if they don't like it?
huh?
What if they don't like Brexit?
Who, the European Union?
No, his people who voted for him.
No, that's what they voted on.
Well,
That's the only thing
there's
they
another
voted
That's
on.
vote
why they
coming
voted
up.
for him, right?
Right. Because
I
the
saw.
Labor Party
Yeah.
tried to run on a whole bunch of other issues,
Right.
which was kind of stupid. Because everybody knew that the only reason they were having this election was the brouhaha over Brexit. So the conservative, the Labor Party tried hard to pretend that that wasn't the issue and that there were other issues, which is a little bit like the Republicans
Well,
in
exactly.
Congress
It's just-
trying to pretend that anything is the issue
Yes.
rather than the criminal activity
Yes.
of the president.
Yeah.
Our
But
man is totally innocent.
it
We-
didn't.
we
It didn't
shouldn't
work.
be.
It didn't work, and hopefully the same thing will happen here. But anyway, he's won, and so now my hopes for the reunification of Ireland are back on the table.
Possible.
Now,
True.
the EU doesn't care. The EU is just eager to get rid of Britain as fast as they can. You know, you want to leave, leave. We don't care.
I'll
Go.
miss all those good, nice, all that milk and cheese and butter and pork from the Irish if it happens. If they,
Sure, sure.
yeah,
Better for the Irish economy, right?
yeah, right.
So, and then the North is going to say, wait a second, everything's going from there. And, you know who didn't vote for him? Scotland. Scotland.
Scotland.
Scotland.
Scotland was not interested in Boris.
The Scottish National Party won 50 of the 59 available seats. And they were not with Boris, and they were not with Brexit. Scotland, of course, did not vote for Brexit. Northern Ireland did not vote for Brexit. So now, one of the things he got in the toe of his stocking, not the lump of coal he deserved, but
Okay.
perhaps a lump of coal,
It may-
is an almost guarantee that there's going to be another Scottish succession vote.
Sounds like it.
So there's a good chance that Boris has won this big election, and he's going to lead the UK out of the European Union, and within a couple of years, he's going to be the Prime Minister of England and Wales
And Wales is starting to feel this way about it too.
instead of
Okay.
England, Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland. He'll be the
No.
Now, the Queen gets to remain the Queen of Ireland and
Of
Scotland.
what's left of the kingdom.
Well, she
Yeah.
still claims to be the Queen of Canada, and Canada's not objecting much. I mean, that's
Yeah,
fine.
New Zealand and Australia, they don't mind having
Actually,
it.
no. I think one of them said no. But
Well, they say
can't
that
re-
until the ship is coming on the way. Then they, oh, the Queen is here. Oh, the Queen.
That's right. They put on the show they need to put on.
Yes, they like it after a while. Everybody, the trumpets.
Part of their
and
culture at
a
this
well,
point.
parade.
they're a long way away. You know,
Ah, that's all
they're a
right.
long
That's
way away.
good.
Anyway, whoever advised Boris to do anything, including stand on his head to not have his picture taken with Trump at the NATO meetings, was a good advisor. So it was interesting, not encouraging. There's a real good chance that in 5 or so years, England will fall to the level of a third world country.
Possible.
And
possible.
I'm not seeing that one.
Huh?
I'm not seeing that one.
Well, they're barely above it now.
Yeah. It's possible.
I think there's some exaggeration.
If they break up
You
completely.
mean as long as they get Meghan Markle, they're safe?
I didn't go there, but the rest of the country did, so they'll be
I
okay.
don't think this.
I mean, the thing is,
They'll be okay.
American internet pays more attention to Meghan Markle than everything else about England combined.
Well, there's nothing really.
Meghan
You're saying
Markle-
that the next king, I think it's going to be a king, a male king, right?
Well,
there's
unless
three of
something
them in line,
unless something
so-
happens to Charlie.
But
yeah.
he's going to have less territory to rule over. Would you say?
Yes.
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 That's what he said.
To actually rule over. I
Yeah.
mean, in a titular sense, he'll have it. But yes, unless something happens to Charlie, it'll be Charlie,
Right.
which I don't really think is going to excite the British a lot.
Not even a little bit.
But
Well, it costs a lot of money to take care of that family.
and
you
then
know.
it's William.
Yeah, but they generate a lot of revenue for the
Maybe.
country.
I think they'll be happy with William,
Oh, I hope so.
yes,
when William comes
he's been
along.
groomed for this.
and they changed the law, so after William comes Charlotte.
Okay.
It
doesn't go to.
No,
his
they
brother.
changed the
okay.
rule now.
When did they do
Yeah.
that?
in the last 5, 6 years or something.
Interesting.
They actually
That's kind of a big
changed.
deal.
They changed primogeniture in
What was the motivation?
they looked around and said, "Guess what? It's the 21st century." It was
Okay.
Yeah.
pretty much just that simple,
No, fair enough.
Sometimes ideas just become evident,
So,
Makes sense.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, they did it before before Louis was born.
True.
Okay.
So let's mention. I hate to bring it up,
Yes.
but the Patriots.
The
What?
Patriots, they won big.
I know they won
Yeah.
big, but people at where we are at Goddard House,
Yeah.
they're still gloomy about the future of the Patriots.
Well, here's the funny thing. Their record at this moment, I think, is actually better than it was last year at this
Yes.
time.
Right.
And if you remember last
11
February,
And 3.
Okay.
they won the Super Bowl.
Well, I don't know. They got some tough teams to play this year.
Well, no, I mean it is. I don't know. I'm certainly not smarter than Belichick, but
I don't want to be
But-
like
Nobody's smarter than
Belichick.
Belichick.
but they don't appear to have a line.
Well, the
And that's-
offensive line.
There's
is
two
tough.
things. They don't have receivers.
He gets killed, Tom.
They don't have receivers, and they don't have an offensive line.
And Tom
Okay.
gets killed every week now.
Yeah, but he stands there and he's never once complained. All right, before we go to play, we have to take a break for our regular necrology feature.
Oh, so you want me? Okay, we got to do it really fast though, because it's playtime.
Okay.
All right, so we
Playtime.
lost.
Not bad, not bad.
We lost William Luce, 88. He was a playwright of Belle of Amherst.
Bellum Amherst, wonderful
and
play.
Bellman, yeah. What he said. Philip McKeon, he was 55. He was an actor in Alice. Alice's son. She
Alice's
played-
son,
Al-
yes.
And Alice was a waitress in a
Yes,
diner.
that's
Yes.
right.
Yes, do you remember the
It
theme
was
song?
it was a TV version of Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, which was
Okay.
a Tony Award-winning Broadway play, starring
it.
Ellen Burstyn.
Right. I mean, David H. Locke, 92, was a Mass state senator from 61 to 93. Is that correct?
He was the minority leader of the Massachusetts Senate, and watch me say this and remember I said it, a good Republican.
Okay. That's an old usage of the word because that doesn't apply anymore. And we lost Danny
Aiello.
Aiello.
What is all this
Since
stuff with the
86.
taxes with our governor? He's raising
He's-
it, he
do the
isn't
right thing.
raising it. I don't know what's going on there. We don't seem
Your
to
timing is impeccable once again.
Okay.
You step on the end of the thing.
Well, I'm
That's
thinking of the
right.
before. Okay, I
What
get
about
back
taxes?
to it. Okay, we'll get
Hold
back.
the
Get back
idea.
to taxes after
Okay.
our play.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the Big TV Unrehearsed Thespian Society's presentation for this evening, which comes nearly off the top of the pile in our triple guarded vault and is entitled Travel.
People still want to travel.
It's a big world.
Hey, it costs a lot.
That's why you work hard.
Middle class stuff.
Oh, you say anybody can go? All they have to do is save?
Don't you want to climb the pyramids?
Yeah, get West Nile fever.
Look, 2 flights is too much in my house.
Learning about other cultures.
You're not interested.
I'm
huh?
not paying them twice.
What does that mean?
First, we give them foreign aid.
And then you expect me to buy a travel package?
Sorry, to another continent?
Yes, and a different way of life and language.
Mine is just fine.
Obviously, but narrow.
You're missing plenty.
I am content and comfortable here.
We're aware of that.
There's so much more.
Yeah, well, you always look heavier after a trip.
Well, it's broadening.
Tasting all those new native favorites.
Magnificent cathedrals and museums.
Sumptuous feasts for the eyes.
And yes, to finally get to see them.
Of course, it's expensive,
And on top of that, there's all that walking.
And our cheap dollar.
but those floating palaces.
You mean cruise ships?
I still get seasick.
But they have lovely staterooms.
If you're on a budget, you get no windows.
Gourmet dining, 5 meals a day.
Yeah, and you look it.
Thanks, Doc.
Las Vegas shows nightly.
And gambling?
I still love the Far East.
The tropics are so romantic.
You know humidity gives you a crotch itch.
The mystery of India.
Those overpowering odors.
Yeah, those families living on the streets.
He just doesn't care.
Nope, it's my bed and my air conditioner.
How ordinary.
Don't you crave adventure?
I get that from crossing our rotting infrastructure.
The danger from wild animals?
Well, there are several of those in our own society.
Yeah, so cynical and negative.
A challenge of living in a foreign land?
Oh, you mean like Boy Scout camp?
You're missing a special experience.
Thank God.
Why not give it a try, Joe?
I don't like chili peppers.
A vacation getaway.
Doesn't that sound appealing?
Yeah, so does a private room in the hospital.
It's life-changing.
Oh, you mean like a hurricane?
Yeah, in a way, I suppose.
Just give me peace and security.
Ah, but that's so monotonous.
Well, you know I'm a boring guy.
That's true.
Yes, doing something different might be fun, though.
You know, I actually find that threatening.
He likes his safe little niche.
I do, emphatically.
And we can't shake him off it.
President Obama flies everywhere.
Michelle enjoys the journeys.
Congress goes on overseas junkets.
And I wish every one of them well.
He remains unconcerned.
Look, it's in the papers and on TV.
With his privacy intact.
Yeah. And you return with a rash or the Pharaoh's revenge.
You're becoming a fuddy-duddy.
Yes, and staying home is most agreeable.
But the glories of the unknown.
Enjoy every moment of it, dear.
Not even slightly envious?
Nope, and I'm just hoping for your safe return.
Our cards and calls don't even pique your curiosity.
Hey, let me ask you, who picks you up at the airport?
There are taxis.
Yeah, but admit it, a familiar face is nice.
He's got that right.
Home is where the heart is, huh?
All those stories to tell you.
Yeah, and without him, winter would be long and dreary.
I think I like summer better.
Sure, and I watered your tomatoes.
But when it gets cold, you go south, Joe.
Still, I like skiing.
Yeah, you broke a leg 2 years ago.
Ow.
For us, though, the excitement never ends.
Embarking or disembarking from your Legionnaire-infested cruise ship?
Cruise ship. You're a stick in the mud.
The exotic souvenirs we bring you like legionnaires.
Remember that magic amulet?
Oh, I certainly do. It kept me scratching for days when I put it on.
Oh, you're insufferable.
While you guys are traipsing about,
He sleeps late, and he has great dinners out.
A new show, a ball game, maybe fishing.
in a rented rowboat.
Oh, cheap. Well, he keeps busy, though.
At my own pace.
Yeah, no 6 a.m. wake-up calls.
No packing and unpacking.
The dirty laundry.
Misplaced glasses.
My friendly bed and my air conditioner.
Right, that does sound pretty good.
Maybe we should try it his way.
It's only money.
And you missed a great Esplanade concert.
He's rubbing it in as usual.
Yeah, well, what about all the gorgeous scenery?
Our local harbor tour was super on a duck boat.
We are surrounded by wildlife
A shark and a whale were very scary on our trip.
and other
I
stories.
give up.
I've got your next year's itinerary all set,
Very
friends.
nice of you, like that.
If you stay home, the first night's dinner is on me.
Oh,
Sorry. Going to a reunion in Fiji.
we really ought to explore the Falklands.
And don't forget, sunrise over scenic Chelsea and the historic Agawam.
Yeah, you left out Carson Beach, but thanks a bunch.
You know I love you guys.
Blackout.
Blackout.
Love you too.
There we go.
right, we did
Travel. All right, what was your
Taxes.
complaint about taxes, sir?
It seems like they're going to stick us, he does, on gasoline. We're going to put a tax on that.
Well, everybody complains about the condition of the infrastructure and public transportation.
What did we put in
expect
the...
to get
Wait
it
a
for
minute.
free?
Now, we built all those...
We always
We
want things
didn't
for
build them, like Everett out there. They got all these gambling casinos now.
Oh, they're supposed to cover everything now?
Yeah, that's what the idea was. They would pump money into the school systems across the state.
were-
Are they not is not a percentage of what's being done already doing
Yeah,
that?
it is pumping millions in, that's true.
But not not at the rate or the size that
Of
they
the
would like.
expectation? Well, you were so eager for this thing. I mean, you spent 2
All we
years going,
talking about is
do we have our casinos yet? Do we
Casino.
have our casinos yet? I have one question for you.
I know what it is.
And it's not in the Christmas spirit, but I have one question for you. You been yet?
I knew that was the question.
I was offered a chance in the Boston.
Oh, really?
House.
They were going to have a tour?
They all did. They all went.
Why
A
didn't
whole
you
bunch
go?
of them went. I didn't go because
Any of them do well?
no.
No?
I want to know why you didn't go when this was your dream for years.
Well,
Because
I'm
it was
thinking
just something
about
to
it.
talk
I'm
about.
thinking
Okay, deep down.
I
you
want to
never
see a
really
big
cared.
payout, and then to the schools. That's what I'm waiting
Okay.
for.
How many times has he inquired about the Red Sox? When's the last time you saw a Red Sox game?
1917, I think. Or
No,
18.
no, no. You must have gone sometime in '67
Yeah,
or
well, I
something,
went.
don't you think?
I saw the big guy, Ted.
Ted?
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
well, that was before that.
Yeah.
How about Yastrzemski? Did you see him out
I
there?
never liked Yastrzemski. He raised all those potatoes up there in Maine. I never liked.
You don't like
You didn't like
potatoes?
him 'cause he
No,
raised
What are you,
potatoes in
anti-Irish? What is this? Or you
No,
objected to a guy named
Yastrzemski sound Irish?
No, is that what you objected to?
Do you
No,
object to him
I
growing
didn't-
potatoes?
I didn't like him. I thought he was kind of narcissistic.
All right. Well, my
is-
favorite player of that era
touch
was
that one.
George Scott. How did you feel about George?
I like George.
I like
I
George
like
Scott.
George.
I
I
like
have no idea.
Who is he?
George Scott was an all-star first baseman.
Oh, yeah, I
great
remember
Okay.
power hitter, and a good guy.
He was a good guy.
And we had a guy played third base back then who was not terribly good, but he always gave it 110% effort, you know. And I liked him. I like guys who did it. One of the reasons I always hated that big Yankee who they called Mr. October, Reggie Jackson, was because he had all the talent in the world. He could have done wonderful things every time he came out.
Right.
And he never did anything until the post. I mean, he was adequate, but he never did anything special until the postseason. And a guy who demonstrates he has the ability to be good all the time is only good when he chooses to. Annoys me.
Yes.
So are
You
the
know.
Patriots
yeah, it's
guilty?
The apathy. He just doesn't care.
Huh?
Are the Patriots guilty of cheating again?
Oh, hell no.
What do you mean, hell no?
No, hell
You got all
no.
these people in
Hell
there.
no.
You got
Doesn't
that
even
guy that
sound
runs the
like
football
that.
season there, and he already has them guilty.
Who's that?
You know the.
The public
Well, you
already
know
has him
what I
guilty.
think about him.
Oh yeah, I do. I agree
know?
with you. This is the guy that
He's
is,
talking about the commissioner of football,
Okay.
Always a love.
whose,
Yes.
whose name is Roger Goodell,
Yep.
And he's
I'm aware.
except unless I refer to him.
Yes.
and he's got
His
a special.
his name to me is
Yes.
Roger Go to Hell.
Yes. I remember this. I've heard this from you
Right.
before.
That's
So
not bad.
what do I care what the opinion of Roger Go to Hell is?
But why are they doing this to them at this stage of the game? I don't understand it.
Really?
Yeah.
They're universally hated by
Jealousy.
A lot of people
Yes.
outside
Well,
of New England.
You know, it's the funny thing is that we should
They
actually
can't
recognize
win. They're
this.
already being condemned because they're disliked.
yes, you're right.
We should recognize this, though, from firsthand because, you know, this is the way the people felt about the Yankees for generations.
True.
They-
I like them, Pats.
And here's the basic thing. You win too much,
And they were after you.
and the people who don't
Resentment.
win get
Yeah.
get their nose out of joint
Yeah.
on things. So
Well,
Resentment breeds resentment.
say good night about all the holidays coming.
say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
It's the end of the year show, everybody. Thanks
Yes.
for joining us.
We'll see you next year.
Next
this
year.
is this
Next
is
year.
this is the fun show from Big TV.
And
We're gonna
next
start
year,
dancing
And-
and singing next
and-
year.
be another show.
And on signing off, we wish you all happy holidays, safe, prosperous New Year, and we give you our
Merry
best.
Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa,
Right, and happy,
Happy
New
New
Year.
Year. Happy winter solstice.